Hello. In today's Explore Analytics video, we're going to look at how you can use the advanced dependent slicers capability on dashboards to get a much richer interactive experience when reporting on ServiceNow Service Catalog items. If you're familiar with ServiceNow Service Catalog, you'll know that there are many different types of items that fall into many categories that might even be further broken up between catalogs. And what that means is that if you want to give your users the ability to slice and dice the data, it might be a little bit tricky to present it to them in a really clean way. As you can see, I have this dashboard with a simple breakdown of items by country, and I could drill down to city. And then I have this pivot, and you can see that the pivot is broken up into the categories and the items, and you can see that we have a lot of categories and a lot of different items. So obviously, we don't want the user to have to scroll through all of this and try and see it all in one place. So what I've done is I've created this dashboard that has a couple slicers. Now, the catalog slicer is pretty straightforward. I have a service catalog, a technical catalog, our administrative catalog. But even as soon as we get down to the categories, you can see that we have maybe 25, 30 categories that are kind of cluttering up this picker. And once we get down to the items, we get something that's not really all that useful. I mean, users could find their way through it, but it's not necessarily the best way of presenting it. What we want to do is have these slicers each narrow the options for the next slicers. And in that way, allow you to really easily constrain the universe, make it easy to navigate. So let's start by creating a dependent slicer. So all of these slicers we've created using the method that's documented in our dashboards and slicers video. So if you haven't seen that, you should definitely go and watch that first. But we're going to turn this category slicer into a dependent slicer that's dependent on the catalog. The way we're going to do this is I'm going to click this Edit Settings, and I'm going to click Edit Input View. What the input view is this is the query that Explore Analytics is using to generate the choices in the picker. That actually is really powerful because you could do things like, grouping and whatnot here. But what it allows me to do is see here's all the titles of the different categories. The thing that we're going to take advantage of is the fact that this view is a view like any other, and therefore one of the things that it supports is it can have its own parameters, meaning that it can take inputs from other slicers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a parameter called catalog. And the field I wanted to pull from, in this case, we actually want it to be the categories catalog. And I'm going to name the parameter to be catalog. And I'm going to click OK. So now this view that is generating the list of slicer options takes a parameter of catalog. Now, if I go back to the dashboard, everything looks the same. But if I select Service Catalog, now the category here is going to show me only the categories that are within the Service Catalog. And you can see it's already a much more manageable list. And then if I select Technical Catalog, I have a completely different one. Again, now you can see a very easy to navigate set of lists. Just a couple clicks, and we've made this so much cleaner for the users that use this. Now let's take a look at how this works with the item. Again, I'm going to go and edit the input view. And again, it's going to show me here's the list in this pivot of all the available items. And I'm going to create parameters. Here, we're going to see that I can actually create multiple. So I'm going to walk from the requested item to the items category catalog, and we're going to call that one catalog. And I'm going to create another one that walks to the items category, and we'll call that category. Now I'm going to go back to the dependent slicer, and I'm going to select Service Catalog, and let's say printers or office, and you can see now even the list of items is very manageable. If I say category all, then, it still might be pretty sizable, although still not as sizable as if there was just all the items. But now you can see that these dependent slicers are building, and it makes it very easily to say, okay, I just want to see this report for all the facilities categories. And you can see there's 2 items here. The pivot is now much more readable. The pie chart is much more manageable, and you've really given a lot of capability. Thank you for watching. This has been a really great look at how you can very quickly constrain the amount of selections that are available. And you can see that this is very powerful for the service catalog, but the same features and functionality could work with incident, assignment group, department, and company, or location, country, state, and city. Really anything where you have a multi-level hierarchy and you want people to be able to narrow their view more and more. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to see our other, more end-to-end dashboards and slicers, and many of the other ServiceNow use cases that are here in this channel.